Uh, I was just telling Lefty what happened at 104 Eastern time was that news hit Bloomberg that Meta was going to have a shortfall on their. Let's see. I want to make sure I get to sees second term revenue at 27 to 29 billion versus estimates of 30.74. This hit at 1 o'clock p.m. They subsequently pulled that down and said, "Oh, they didn't really." They said a lot of blah, blah, blah. But anyway, that hit Bloomberg. And if anybody looks at the chart, you'll see that Nasdaq really kind of shot down for that period of time. Then Kenny G and his group of friends bought it back up.
I mean,
But
Facebook went all the way down to 169, and it's still down, but it was just
uh,
an epic red candle on Jesus, a ton of volume too.
I think it's legit, but I don't know. So that's what led to this conversation.
I mean, that's a pretty good false flag if it's not legit. Just leak really, really shitty news and then come out with great news.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. We we trade the rumor and we sit on the news.
Yeah.
Bing, bing, bing. I mean, I looked at the market. So they got the market, they got the Nasdaq back up to like 13,170, and I mean, I think that's all on you know bullshit. Now they're selling a little bit, but I really think that, and I'm flat, but I think that Nasdaq could easily revisit mid 1350 and even head back to 1300
I'm
or I'm
long.
sorry 13,000.
I'm long some SQQs here. $50 calls at a dollar two. I'm underwater a little bit, but yeah, if it comes back or Facebook misses or some of that, these will definitely print. Um, the tomorrow's the biggest day in the world, right? With Apple and Amazon. It's just
Amazon's faced a lot of pressure.
it's hard to take a lot of big positions when you know what's going to report tomorrow. How
I
are
mean,
the
I think yeah, I had a conversation yesterday with somebody who knows Amazon quite well, and I floated my idea, which is I think that that the AWS part of Amazon is worth about $1,000. I don't know, and he seemed to agree. If it drops below $2,000, I'm going to tell you, I'm loading some up in my long term account. I don't know that their model is going to work very effectively going forward. Their classic model that we see, that everybody sees, um, but AWS is a killer.
Why is that,
So
Bob? Why don't you think that model works?
I just I mean I don't know why it doesn't work. I know that it's facing challenges, both from a little bit from the retailer side, but the retailers are caught out. But I think that post people are realizing that getting things in 2 days isn't quite the priority it once was. I think that the Prime service, from my perspective, um, I don't really use it very much. I don't think it's very good. I don't think it's really a competitor to Netflix. Be that what it may, and as Netflix has another shitty day, um, but so they have a lot of irons and a lot of different fires, and I'm just not sure that they have spent so wisely. That's
I
just my
love
general thought.
I love Prime. I think I watch Prime as much as I watch stuff on YouTube TV and Netflix and HBO Max. I mean, that's just me. I like Prime because I can have all my subscriptions just right there, and I can just hit it and have HBO and or not HBO anymore, but Showtime and all the other ones.
Yeah, I guess I do the same thing through my Roku. So
Yeah,
I like the call on the $1,000 valuation on their AWS service.
Do you think that could be light by a little bit?
Sure, could be. I also continue to say that all these major indices are being propped up by the monsters. And you start to feel it when you see Meta down 5%, or when you feel Netflix rolling over, or when you feel, right? It's like, oh, something's got to give here.
Yeah.
Muck, you said you lifted the SQQQ. That's the 3x bear, correct? And what do you have on there? The 50 call?
I have the 50 call at 102, so I'm just even on it now.
For what?
Weekly, expiry Friday.
Okay.
I just
Now, do you use that? Do you use that a lot? That's a pretty highly levered ETF there.
Yeah, I do not use it a lot. It's kind of I'll use it really only during earning seasons. I'll use it's the same. I'll use the triple levereds with earnings if at the beginning of earnings season I feel things are bad, and then I'll try to trade that instead of trying to trade Apple itself or 3M or some of that. Just try to take a overall snapshot and try to get a quick move. We'll see. But yeah, I mean, it feels kind of dumpy going into the day today. So I don't know. The problem is that Apple doesn't look like it wants to pull back a lot. I think people are nervousness is what I'm getting in the market the most. I don't know about you guys. I just think people are very, very nervous. I think that's why what was it? Whirlpool or one of those consumer staples reported a blowout number yesterday, and this was up 10 while Tesla was down 10. I think there's like kind of a rotation in that way. Not to get your money out of the market, but to get your money into safer things to rotate back into tech.
Well, I mean, I know, over the last 3 months, I've rotated out of Apple, and I guess I have a similar size position now in Walmart. I mean, so it's the same thing with long term. I mean, I'm going to get a little bit better dividend, and Walmart's not going to go away. So
I don't think Apple's going to go away.
I don't think there's no way it is, but it's valuation, and the problem is when hedge funds, when the big players get squeezed, they have to not, they're not sell they don't sell off their shit. They sell off their good stuff.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
I'm gonna get shit for this. I know I'm gonna get shit for this, but I think into the end of the year, we see new highs.
Who knows? So far off, for Christ's sake.
I think there's gonna be so much percentage.
What are we talking about? Are you talking about the NASDAQ?
Yeah, the total market, like NASDAQ, S&P.
How much you want? We strike it right here. Strike the iron. You're going to see new highs from this point right here.
At the end of the year.
By the end of the year, we're going to settle on new highs.
Yes.
These each have 10 milligrams of THC. How many did you eat today?
None yet. I do them later.
Out of your grid.
What? Look, I'm just saying. I think off the rate hikes, we realize they're not bad. All the hedge funds that are down need to race and make back quarters, and then all of a sudden, boom, end of year. Holy shit!
Well, let me tell you, the hedge funds are a great issue, but I don't think that's going to be the answer. But let's go to Lefty. What I'd really like to know is your thoughts on, because I think that this is the elephant in the room, is the FOMC in May. I'd like to get your thoughts. I've only got them ever anecdotally anyway, because your bet with Muck that you ended up winning. I think in March.
Yeah, Muck won that bet, and well, he'll win that bet with one raise. I think they're squished into a corner again. I don't think they have a play other than a 50 basis point move. The Fed governors will come out and be like, "Oh, we need a 75," and the next guy will be like, "Oh, we can't do 75." And the next guy will be like, "Oh, we should do a point." And the next guy will be like, "Oh, we can't even do 75. How are we going to do a point?" It's like, but I do think they've painted themselves in a corner. Pricing wise, I think the pricing reflects that you're going to see a half a point. You're looking at 250 before the December meeting right now. The forward pricing says that it'll be at 250 before the December meeting. That means we got to move 200 basis points. That means you got to move 50 the next 4, right? So you got May, June. Is there an August? You'll probably skip that one. Whatever the July or August is, you'll skip it. You'll go May, June. You'll go SEP and either probably that NOVE contract. So you get your 4 50 basis point moves. And I mean, that's where the pricing's at. I don't know how we do it. I think you see 30-year mortgages touch 6% here by the end of the year. You tell me how you do 60 or 6% 30-year mortgages versus new all-time highs in the NASDAQ and the S&P, and I'll give you a handy as well as dinner.
Yeah, I mean, Lefty, I could not agree with you more. I mean,
What?
I don't see.
Shit.
And then
Bob agreed. Sell it. You're right, Muck.
no,
Wow.
let me make this point. I think that the problem with the rates is not only just the practicalities of laying that on top of this market, laying on top of real estate, but let's not cast aside the fact that there's an election. And typically, the Federal Reserve has tried to be as neutral as possible going into elections. You think after a 50 basis, I mean, and no, I know what you're saying, but 250 basis point raises, so we're 100 basis points from where we're at now, and then they're going to raise twice going into the elections. I mean, wow. I mean, just think of the practicalities of it. That's all. That's why I agree with you. I question the pricing, but the pricing is the pricing.
Yeah, I don't. There's a disconnect between politics and all of this stuff right now. I don't get it. I don't get it. I think we're being played by politicians as opposed to them working for us. So, yeah, I got
argument for me.
I agree that usually the Fed, this isn't a major, it is a major election cycle because it's a November one, but it's not a president. And sure. I don't think you have the sway. I don't think the incumbent Democratic Party that I feel is going to get obliterated come November. I don't think they have the sway with the Fed governors to keep it tight. I don't know how they hold that. I don't know how they hold that line. So take that for what it's worth. I think they're dead men walking at this point.
What also happens to the world if we raise and no one else can raise? Like, isn't that kind of bad? Like, doesn't that just kind of like take a lot of money out of Europe and bring it back into the USA and stuff like that? Like, if our rates are going up and Europe is kind of staying flat to negative real rates?
Well, I mean, I heard Lagarde on TV or at some thing in DC. What was it, last week or the week before? And she says they're going to raise, but who? I mean,
we already have the highest rates.
Europe is such a mess with the Ukraine situation. I mean, my Lord, we pay that short shrift here, but You know, I don't know what happens with there is going to be an impending food crisis. I mean, that's quite readily apparent, I think. Certainly in Europe and in Northern Africa.
Is it because
Um,
we've intentionally had the CIA burn down 18 food processing plants in the last 3 months?
I mean, I saw that thing. I haven't really looked into that. What's the story behind that? I don't even know. I just merely saw I saw a couple tweets on
Here, here in the U.S. or like somewhere else?
it. No, in the U.S.
Wow.
What's the story, Lefty? Do you know?
We can't hear you, Lefty, or I can't hear you.
I can't either. You're muted.
Hmm.
Lefty, we're missing all your pearls of wisdom. We can't hear you.
We can't hear
We
you.
can't hear you.
Oh, he's on the phone.
Oh, I see. I see.
Um, I don't
Anyway,
know. I mean, I guess I'm more worried about um, the Ukraine is such a big exporter of wheat and everything that it's kind of scary on what's going to go on in the Middle East, and like different places are already having food riots. That's probably going to get worse. Fun
well,
time.
the planting season already has started. They, you know, there was some talk about trying to get a
A ceasefire for planting
stand
season.
down a stand down in forces for purposes of planting the wheat, but that didn't happen.
Well, that's short-sighted and stupid. But I mean, where is Russia getting their wheat from? I thought they exported or imported a lot from Ukraine, anyways. Unless um, unless that region that they already have is producing a lot, but I don't know if it does. The region down by the sea over there, you can tell how much about geopolitics I know in that Balkans area.
Well, you
Zero.
sound like you sound like kind of an expert. Do you have a PhD in this area?
Oh yeah, yeah, massive PhD in Eastern Balkans history and
Ryan
politics.
Ryan Ryan says Russia grows more wheat than anyone, but
No,
I think that's over. I don't think more than the U.S. Does it? I don't believe so, but
I know,
yeah,
I know. China grows is like in the top three of wheat growers, but they don't export it. Like they grow it to
they
consume it.
they don't grow enough for their own demand.
Yeah, but what they grow is massive. It's just they don't export it. Where the Ukraine exports a shit ton of it. Um, Not the U.S., but oh yeah, that works. So the Russians aren't going to starve.
Okay, so well, let's get your view on the markets, Muck.
My SQQs are I'm up on them, $15 up, so that's nice.
Who told you to buy those?
You did. Well, you told me to short the Qs. I didn't want to short something. I wanted to long something instead, so I did it my way. Um, I don't know, man. Look at the Nasdaq futures are up, but all it takes is that I mean the Nasdaq futures can be up 50 points, and I'll still sell out my thing and make a ton of money.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think Nasdaq is perilously weak, perilously weak. I think they are just waiting to just hit the sell button. I think
I mean,
Kenny G and his boys are keeping it up to keep people interested and keep people watching. But
I don't know if it gets to
they
1300, but it definitely can get to like 13 half,
oh
13,
they get they
13
get they
100.
don't get me wrong, they could bring us back up to 13,250, I think. Because nobody, it looks to me like nobody's playing now. Last couple of times they've tried to get it to 13,000 or 13,2. Their sellers have emerged and hit it down. But, you know, I think it strikes me as a seller's market, and the ES is bouncing around like Nasdaq for Christ's sake.
Anyone check out gold recently? God, gold just took a shit today.
I have a guy that is a swing trader, and he's a very smart guy. I mean, I've followed this guy for years, but I just know him. I don't follow every trade he does, but he's long gold. I think he got long first at 12:30. Yes, 12:30. He doubled the position up at 1900, and it is just taking a bath. But his attitude is now he'll have baked into his assumptions a very large loss possibility, stop loss, and a high target. But he thinks it's inevitable, and I've read elsewhere it's inevitable. I don't know enough about the product. I do occasionally play around in the product just for shits and giggles, but I don't have quite the appetite that most have.
Gold?
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, I'd rather piss on an electric fence than trade that thing. At the end of the day, it looks like it is literally the most boring contract to trade.
It's kind of expensive too. I haven't traded it in a good long while, but I thought it was kind of up there on the tick wise as it can hurt.
Fucking down $16 today. I mean that's a serious kick in the ass.
I'm gonna find out what gold is on a teeny. What is a teeny in gold?
I'll tell you, this market looks like shit to me. You go ahead and buy it. I don't want any part of it. Are bonds doing anything today, Lefty, or are they just kind of watching?
You know what? They've had it. I mean, the Ultra Bond, which is the one I look at the most, has had a 3-handle range.
Wow.
So it's like, oh, yeah, and we're down a point. The front end of the curve's up, back end's down. Okay, so we're steepening the curve a little bit. All right, I guess. What's more interesting to me is the fact that over the last 3 or 4 days, the bond, the classic, the 30-year, and the ultra, which is the 50-year, not really, but you know what I'm talking about, have basically moved 1-to-1. And that's a pretty interesting thing to watch. Like, if that's really going to move 1-to-1, then there's some mispriced volatility somewhere. Somebody's offsides. So there you go.
How will it resolve itself? Like, how will we know when that gets?
You'll
right?
see a day where the bond is up a point and the ultra bond is up 3.5, or conversely.
Woo. Yeah.
It feels really coiled here, and I'm not quite smart enough to know all the ratios and all the fun things, and I don't quite understand cheapest to deliver, but I get it. Like right now, it's moving. And yesterday it moved 1-for-1. The day before it moved 1-for-1. Right now the bond's down 3/4 of a point and the ultra's down a point. That's a little more normal, but again,
what's the price per tick movement on the ultra? Isn't it it's something hurtful too?
No. Ultras are the same size as the bond.
So it's what, 30?
31.25 a tick.
That hurts.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, 10 ticks adds up quick, right?
Yeah.
On a 10 lot.
Yeah. 10 out of 10 is not. Depend on which way you are. Looks like the Nasdaq has rolled over, gentlemen. We're at 90, 88.
It's going, Muck. You're gonna get paid, my brother. Pay the Muck.
Pay the Muck. I mean, Muck likes to get paid.
Hey, can you walk? Maybe you don't know this, but can you walk me through some of the decay on that SQQQ? Is there decay embedded in that?
Yes.
I just don't know what it is off the top of my head.
I don't. I don't. When I used to play around with it, I knew exactly how it all worked. but the time decay is huge. So literally, when the market closes, they have to move around because it's what they do is a series of options. I think options and futures that they have to kind of quick settle them all up. So the thing, like, if you're trading these things outside of within market hours and just opening and closing them within the same day, there's leakage, a significant leakage. I used
So
to play these.
explain leakage to me. Like, how does it leak?
Um, I think that I'm not going to do. I won't do it justice, Lefty, but essentially, I first off, I'm certain that some of it's transactional costs, but the fact is that you know what, I'm not going to do it justice. I simply
Okay.
won't do it justice. And I don't want to get bitch slapped by somebody listening to this, telling me
No one
I'm
listens to
talking
us.
out of my ass.
Um, I I know I can figure it out tonight. Um, I can bring back my old notes, dig through it. It's not something I trade on a long term. Like these are weeklies expiring Friday. I'm kind of fine with it. I don't know if I don't think the decay on a weekly is as bad, but I know if you go out, it can be sick as fuck. But I think as me and you talked about months ago, I think all of the inverse levered ones have some kind of sick decay built in.
Why?
I think it's just isn't it just this? It's simply the structure of the product. I think, uh,
I mean,
in order to kind of,
I've read the prospectus. It tells you that you're
I
going to
haven't.
lose between 15 and 17% a year if you hold it. So I don't understand why.
Because they can.
No, I don't think that works.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm so like I don't think it's actively short to
It's not active. It's not actively. It's not actively short the index.
so it's a combination of like puts on the individual names and then short the futures contract. But I don't know, it's kind of
Yeah, that's
like there's an inverse of ARC out there. I don't know how they do that if they just short every name that she adds to um if they update it where she what how Kathy does every day or if they just buy puts on ARC. So
I don't know. I've played it. I played it once. That's all I know.
I have to dig more into it. I probably should do more research. You know, it doesn't hurt to get smarter.
It
It
looks
does
like
hurt
you're
to
gonna
get
get paid. You're gonna get paid, Muck.
it does hurt to get fatter, which I'm definitely doing. So that's not good.
If you're getting fatter before you have your first child, you're fucked.
Thanks. 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 Thanks.
I'm just telling you. So you better you better do some reassessing. Lefty will tell you, right? Lefty. I mean,
Yeah.
you know.
It doesn't get easier because then you do this thing called raccooning. And so as my kids eat about 2/3 of their plate and they bring it over to the sink where I'm doing dishes, I'm the raccoon and I just sit there and oh, that looks good. I don't want to let that go to waste. Why would I? So you just raccoon away. And by the end of the night, you're 10 pounds heavier. And you're like, well, I didn't even eat dinner. Oh, yes, you did. You ate 4 dinners. You're just a little raccoon.
That is so true. It is so true. And plus, then you all of a sudden start to have stuff around your house that you didn't have when you used to be kind of like an aware individual all by yourself. You got
My,
shit that the kids will eat.
that's right. My grandmother was a farm woman. We take that literal and old school Anabaptist farm woman. And she would make applesauce and freeze it all year round. And I love applesauce. But these little applesauce pouches, You can just bang them in like 2 minutes and you just pop them off and eat them. They're just full of sugar. It's just garbage, right?
Yeah.
But they're so tasty, and my kids have them.
It's so tasty.
You
It's
JD,
like,
know,
oh, I got the munchies.
JD just hypes up all his kids on sugar and just releases them to the playground.
no,
And says, go.
but little kids can burn that stuff off so quickly, like kids can. But adults, forget it, man. Hey, fat man, lose weight.
I'm
Okay,
working on
you're taking up like 3/4 of the screen for Christ's sake. Fuck.
it. It's
Fuck.
because I'm fat. God. We can do it like this. No. We put the most handsome one in the middle.
On my screen, that's me.
Oh, well, there you go. On my screen, I'm not in the middle, so
It's still Bob.
I don't know.
Anyway, I mean,
I'll
I
let you know
don't, I don't know.
there's a rally in the meme stocks right now. I don't know if anyone gives a shit, but
Is that right? Oh yeah, GameStop's up 260.
AMC is lifting off. I'm trying to buy some puts at a cheap price right now in AMC.
AMC's up 50 cents. Holy Christ.
I don't know. It's a weird world we live in.
It is a weird world.
I don't trade meme stocks. I trade meme coins. No,
You love trading meme coins.
I always have a meme coin in my back pocket. I realize that if you're trading meme coins, you're probably getting picked off. So whatever. But hip hip hooray! They're kind of fun to trade. Bob, you're fully recovered.
No, far from it. I mean, I still am not able to drive. My surgery was really on my left leg. So I was cut from basically the groin to mid calf. And but I have to say today is it was almost 2 weeks ago. It'll be 2 weeks tomorrow. And today is far and away the best day since. I actually
I
feel
guess I'm
almost
smiling. Like you got cut from your groin to your calf.
yes. Serious surgery.
Here, I thought it was just a kickstand lengthening surgery.
But my attitude is good. I have an attitude of gratitude.
That's good. If you approach each day with thankfulness, things actually turn out differently.
And I could not agree more. Instead of feeling sorry for yourself and saying, well, if this was only better, you sit there and say, well, boy, the mortgage is paid, the lights are on, I have food to eat, I have people that love me. What the fuck?
Not a bad
Pretty
life.
fucking lucky. It's not a bad life. I'm incredibly lucky.
I just shot a pretty good. I just shot a pretty good wad onto AMC. I'm long the 16 puts and long the 15 puts, and on the weekly, I'm just hoping for an overall market sell off tomorrow. Now, hope we'll see. If you were smart, you would fade me probably by like the 18 and a half because this thing's probably just gonna rock it. But this market's, I don't know. I think there's something broken in the plumbing of a lot of these markets, but I don't know what it is.
What does that mean?
Like there, something to me personally, something seems off on some of the algos, some of the market making algos. Or maybe I'm just chasing ghosts at this point, which I could totally be. I just don't understand when the overall market starts to dip down, why meme stocks are ripping up and stocks that have to borrow a lot of money, such as AMC and GameStop and others, would be trying to rip into a interest rate hike because it makes their borrow harder. That confuses me. But like I said, I feel like something is off, but I'm not smart enough to figure out what it is, or I haven't put enough time into figuring where the brokenness is. But I feel like something's wrong.
Well, we've been saying that for 13 years, haven't we now?
I
It's
mean, the
just
markets, the overall flow of the markets, I feel has gotten better. There's not a lot of self help requests that there were when we first started this channel, and Cal was all about that. I feel like the fluidity of the Nasdaq and the NYSE are working better. I just feel like there's still something wrong.
it looks like they're selling hard now, boys. Woo, doggy, what the hell happened? Man, oh man, oh man, that was a zipper. Kenny G needed less stock, he decided. Let's see if there's any news.
That's funny. The you're right. The Nasdaq did shit, and my SQQs barely moved up $2 in overall profit.
BYND's pause due to volatility. Is that what is BYND? Is that a Chinese stock?
Uh,
Oh no, that's Beyond the Meat.
yeah.
Oh, there's something. No new plan. Oh Christ! Well, that's driving the market Beyond the Meat. Beyond the
Well, it
Meat.
was up $7 today, so maybe. Ooh, I love this when I love when they halt it. The bid ask spread on Beyond Meat is $1 by 9,875.99. That's your bid ask spread. Tell me that's the lowest open market maker out there and the highest. That just shows you how fucked this market is.
Here's a great tweet by Mitt Romney, going back a little bit to our political conversation. Desperate polls call for desperate measures. Dems are considering forgiving trillions in student loans. And he says other bribe suggestions: forgive auto loans, forgive credit card debt, forgive mortgages, put a wealth tax on the super rich to pay for it all. What could possibly go wrong?
He's precisely correct. I mean, all those people that made bad decisions in terms of taking on those loans, and the vast majority, I think it's, well, I shouldn't say vast majority, but the majority of which were taken by people that didn't even complete degrees. And it's a travesty, and we've effectively, kind of backstopped the university system and sent oodles of people to college that never belonged going to college, that didn't have the intellectual wherewithal to go to college, so that they get a 4-year drinking degree. It's stupid, stupid. I mean, I had this conversation with somebody yesterday. They were saying, you know, encourage people to go to a trade school. Get a trade. My God, what could be better to get to earn a living as a mechanical engineer, a plumber, an electrician, make a good living, live close to home, live a great life, and not waste 4 years in sunk costs in college and then decide, or after 3.5, decide, well, this just isn't for me, or my degree in home ec isn't really going to be going to result in a prosperous life. Come on, get a grip.
I'm long people going trade school route over college. I think I mean, if you look at how much a welder or a power line lineman make, I mean, Jesus Christ, they make ungodly amounts of money. Because there's not a lot of them. No one wants to do it. No one wants to go to a trade school and
It's
become a
not
welder
sexy. It's
or
not
a plumber.
sexy enough for them. Fuck them.
Yeah, when did life become about being sexy? I thought life became about becoming rich and doing shit that you never thought you could do. And now it
Do you
seems like
watch
to
do you
do
watch
that.
TV? Do you watch TV?
Yeah.
I mean, there's an entire culture that's been created to separate man from money.
True.
And this is why, and Bob's probably got better advice on this than I do. He's already been through it longer, but this is why, as you raise your kids, you teach them that riches isn't money. It's the people that you do your life with. It's the relationships that you carry. If relationships are truly the only uncorruptible currency left in this planet, you don't burn bridges. Learn how to be a good worker. Learn how to be a good friend. It doesn't even matter what you do. The problem is that we're inundated with a culture that says you need more, you need better, your skin is a little too wrinkly, your hair is a little too thin, right? And so it creates a really gnarly way to raise people. And you're looking at a generation of neckbeards that live in their basement, can't leave. They don't have any social conditioning. And we didn't help them any over the last 2 years. So
the incentives to be unhappy are so vast in our society. It's ridiculous.
yeah,
It's
and it's art,
ridiculous.
right? So how do you combat that? How do you teach people a different way?
I really
You know,
hope they
it's
don't. I really hope they don't do that credit card thing because I just paid off all my credit cards and I'm gonna be super fucking pissed if they wipe out everyone's credit card.
So let me riddle you this. That money that you worked for or you earned in some capacity to pay that off, that left you with a good dopamine hit.
Yeah,
I'll take people who know how to create their own dopamine over people who are dopamine whores
true.
any day. I will. Yeah, I mean, everybody loves found money. Everybody loves to win things. Everybody likes sandwiches made by other people, right? At the end of the day, be self-sustaining. Do your thing and do it within your limits. I think, again, those are things that I try and teach my kids.
there's so much joy in it.
There is. And here's the thing, there's a parable, and I don't have it in front of me, but the vineyard owner, right? He hires guys in the morning to work his vineyard, and they work the vineyard. And they agree to work for $50, and then he hires guys at 10, and they agree to come and work, and then he gets more guys at noon, and more guys at 1, and more guys at 4, and then he closes at 5, and he pays everybody the same amount of money. Are you mad because you worked all day for the price you agreed to work for? Are you mad at the other people for getting something you didn't get? It's like, oh, yeah, there's a bigger narrative here. Just be happy. Again, join your day in gratitude. I got to work a whole day. Look how great my tan looks. Think about how many great grapes you would have eaten.
A lot.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, but
I don't
no
know.
one does that. Like they want the world to give them shit for free.
Yeah, that's called stimmy checks. And Biden pandered to the lowest common denominator.
And I think he's gonna try to pander again in order to, and he's fighting an absolute. I agree with all your points on the political end. I think he's fighting an absolute losing battle. But in an aim to get the 18 to 30s to the polls, and they don't vote in midterm elections, to get them to the polls, he's going to try to forgive this. I mean, it's a fool's errand. It sends all the wrong messages, and you know, I don't know. I mean, I'd be just if I was willing to be angry, I'd be disgusted by it, but I just choose not to. I just find it sad, really, really sad.
I
I
agree.
think I think these people, I think the people that sign these promissory notes as they went along after a semester, after 3 semesters, knowing that they were going no fucking place, and they just signed these things and just never really thought about the consequences. Um, it's shameful, and that's that. I mean, it's a testimony to bad parenting as well. You know, I mean, all three of my kids. I've got one in law school, one finishing up his undergrad. you know, knock on wood, they don't have a dime of debt. But did we forego things due to that? Absolutely. NYU costs a small fortune to send a kid to school,
I'm sure it does.
and you know, I don't know. I don't want to preach about it.
Muck's getting excited.
Muck, I'm gonna get him paid. I don't know what the hell he's doing there. He better get his ass fucking moving around. Look at this fat ass. Holy shit.
Muck's got
There's so
Muck,
much of them.
Muck's got multiple setups. God damn, I'm not that fat. Fuck. I just feel fat. Jeez.
You're over 200 pounds, Muck.
I mean,
are we making markets on Muck's weight?
He's only 5'8", isn't he?
I'm 130
5'10".
bid, 130 bid
5'10".
at 140 offered. Right, Muck?
What was the bid and offer?
130 bid at 140. Oh, I'm sorry, the handle was wrong. You know I love you, Muck.
I just can't wait until the 4th of July when I'm there. You have to take me to dinner. It's gonna be nice.
Yeah, we're going to the Wiener Circle so they can yell at you. By the way, if you've never been to the Wiener Circle in Chicago, you're missing out. At least old school.
Where's the Wiener Circle at? I don't know it.
It's kind of on the near north side. They love that you get in there and they just cuss at you, yell at you, and tell you you're a dumbass. It's really fun.
Oh, I've heard about that. Is that Lincoln Park?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know why I never went there.
The bar in the CME is.
Ryan, you're in here?
Yeah, Ryan's here.
Oh, hi, Ryan.
Ryan won't come on the show, but he hangs out in the chat. He's
got a real job.
I know. I'm gonna take the wife to the bar, at the C-Bot or the CME. I forget which one it is in.
Series?
Yeah, it's open again.
It's sad.
It's sad now.
Yeah.
Still good drinks though.
It's sad. It's like, do you want to go sit with depressed people and drink depressing drinks? You should go to Series. Is your life sad and miserable? You should be at Series.
I want to get some prison. I'm gonna be there for a while, so prison chicken's definitely on the list.
Yeah, prison chicken doesn't taste as good as it used to. Chicken Planet doesn't taste as good. It's just that whole complex where there used to be 20,000 guys every day getting food at lunch. Remember old school Scrine, where they put mashed potatoes on everything? I'll take a pork sandwich, got it with mash. I'll take a whatever, got mash. It's like, that was great. They closed down too. They're actually from out here in Oak Park.
That sucks.
Yeah.
When are they actually gonna close it all? I mean, it seems like everything's done on. I mean, there's not even really a point to be there anymore, right? Open outcry's dead.
I don't know if the CBOE still has real market makers in it. I doubt it. I don't know.
I don't think so. I mean, not even 2 years there anymore.
Yeah, 2 year wasn't there for a while.
Looks like the.
You guys like my business look here? My collar on today. I'm wearing ABC Lulu pants as well, so it's definitely party on bottom. But hey, Muck, do you know what ABC stands for?
Anything but
anti-ball crushing.
Oh, okay, there you go.
All right.
Q's are selling off here. Just throwing that one out there again.
Nothing's going to happen for another 40 minutes, really. Just keep dicking around, holding it up. You get a haircut there, Lefty?
Growing it out. I'm trying to go high on the sides tight, top long.
High tight.
Yeah. I knew I was going to be on with you guys today, so I actually took a shower and I want to record a podcast, and I usually do it on video so I can leave it permanently on YouTube, so it's just a little bit easier. But all good things.
All right, boys, I'm going to pull out.
Yep, I gotta go. I gotta trade this 2 o'clock close. Good to chat.
All right,
Luck, thanks for getting this all together. And
we'll do it again.
Yeah, I'll do it again next week.
All right, see you guys next week. Have
Peace
fun.
out. Be well, guys.